Does a hot or not list matter? Yes? No? Yes. Why are they made? Why does this happen? I mean, maybe this video is just for the girls, so I'm going to talk as a girl. I would be devastated if I were on a hot or not list. I know it's very common and popular for guys to assign girls numbers, like 1 to 10, and how sad. Like, no one wants to be given a number, especially not a low one. But like, man, I sure hope that my life, my worth, and my identity is more than a number on a sliding scale. In a time when, like, the teenage years are already hard enough, and you want to start assigning me numbers or best body parts, like, it's awful. And I know it's happening to a lot of you out there. You know, when this show and this episode is going on, we see the hot or not list is being passed around in the communications class, and they're talking about social learning theory, and they're saying how one person's opinions can influence the rest of the group. And I just want to laugh. And I know it's Hollywood, and I know that they're pushing these two thoughts together, but the irony of it is almost too much for me. Because, yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about. One person's thoughts and opinions influences the other. And we see that in the show, the hot or not list was just a way for Alex to get back at Jessica. It had nothing to do with Hannah. She was the casualty of war in this one. But yet, somehow that crept into her heart and into her mind, and it started to define a piece of who she was. It started to put a stamp and a label on her own identity that she was telling herself. Which makes sense. I get why it happens. It's a big deal. And if that's passed around the school, like, that's also a big deal. No one wants to be looked at and objectified like they're only one thing. No one wants to just say, oh, nice body part. Like, that's all she is. That's all you are. That's all any of us are. No one wants that. I like the conversation where Hannah and Clay are talking, and she's saying, like, you know, this is a big deal, and Clay's not quite cluing in. And she says to him, you know, you thought it was just a list, but here's the thing. You've never been a girl. And then right after that, you see this clip of Angie Romero putting on tons of lipstick in the library. It was a real short clip, so I don't know if you remember it. But she's in there, like, loving it, and someone even comments, oh yeah, you know, best lips and whatever. And we never hear from her again. We don't know what happens in her story. But, see, she believed the hot or not list because she was on the hot side. And so was Hannah, but it was used in a negative way. Even on Angie, it was used in a negative way because no one wants to be just one body part. Angie believed it and took pride in it. Hannah believed it and it destroyed her. So what do we do? What do we do when we ends up on those lists? When Hannah's kind of confronting Clay about this at the cafeteria lunch table on the outside, and she was saying, like, what if girls made this kind of list? And he's like, I don't care. I at least have better biceps than Alex or whatever. See, guys and girls actually process very differently. You know, Clay's response is pretty typical guy, where he goes, well, I'm not at the bottom, like, at least I'm better than so-and-so. They can kind of compartmentalize things better. We can handle it. Like, it messes us up. Because we attach a lot of our value and our identity to what other people think about us, what other guys think about us especially. It's a time of life when boys and their opinions, like, mean a lot. So does a hot or not list matter? Ultimately, I would like to say no. Because I believe that your identity is worth so much more than some doodles and scratches on a piece of paper, or a passing comment in a hallway, or what's even scribbled on a bathroom stall. Like, your identity is so much more precious and so much more valuable than the flippant conversations of other kids that just don't even get what they're saying. Or maybe they do get what they're saying and they're trying to be cruel, but do we really want our lives to be defined by someone just trying to be mean? I see you as being so much more than that. I see you as way more complex in a good way, way more complicated in a good way. Like, you are made up of all of these parts, all these gifts, all these talents, all of these opinions, all of these ideas, all of these worldview perceptions. Like, you are so much more than something like a hot or not list or a rating on a 0 to 10. It's easy to believe, and I know that, which is why I wanted to address it. So no, it doesn't matter, but yes, it does, because it's easy to believe. I'm here to tell you there's more. Don't be defined by just that. You are becoming, and for those of you that are girls and watching this, you are becoming beautiful, strong women. And you might feel like that's a total mess right now. And what does that look like? And I just want to be there already. I want to be confident. Listen, I'm going to tell you a secret. I don't feel confident half the time. We're all just trying to figure this thing out. But you're on your way to becoming it. And I can tell you on the other side, it's so worth it to be grown up. It's so worth it to reach maturity. It's so worth it to become your full identity. You're on that pathway. Don't give up because of a silly rating or a stupid list. I see that you are so much more than that. I understand the struggle. I know that it's devastating. But I see you as so much more. Just remember that.